Success has a strange price. For me, Daniel Hayes, that price had always been time. Time away from family dinners, time away from intimacy with my wife, time away from anything but balance sheets and boardroom meetings. At 48, I had built my empire, but my marriage had hollowed into polite routines, like a business partnership without passion. Then came Elena Vargas. She was everything I admired and everything I shouldn't want. Brilliant, fierce, independent. We met at a global finance summit in Milan. I still remember the first sight of her. Tailored suit, hair sleek in a bun, red lipstick that looked like temptation painted across her smile. When she spoke, her Spanish accent caressed the English words, turning mundane business talk into music. Our companies were rivals on paper, but from the moment she shook my hand, I felt an undeniable pull. Her palm was warm, her gaze bold. "Mr. Hayes," she said, "I hope we won't only be opponents. I prefer collaborations." That night, at the gala dinner, our conversation flowed too easily. Wine loosened the edges of restraint. She laughed at my sarcasm, and her laugh lit something in me I thought had died long ago. When she leaned closer to whisper a joke, her perfume, jasmine and sandalwood, sent my pulse racing. Nothing happened that night, but it planted the seed. A month later, negotiations brought her to New York. My office towered over the city, and so did my guilt. My wife kissed me that morning without passion, murmuring something about groceries. By noon, Elena walked into my office in a cream blouse that caught the light like silk on fire. We spent the day in meetings, but her eyes held mine too long, her hand brushed mine when it didn't need to, and when the meeting ended, she didn't leave. "Daniel," she said softly, standing by the window with the skyline glowing behind her, "do you ever feel like your life is too neatly planned?" I swallowed. All the time. The silence between us hummed. I knew the decision I was making when I walked to her. Our kiss was urgent, a collision of hunger denied for too long. Her lips tasted of red wine and danger. She pressed against me, and I lost track of time, of loyalty, of every line I had sworn never to cross. That first night was reckless. A hotel suite, two business adversaries giving in to desire. I remember her undoing my tie, whispering in Spanish, "Eres mío esta noche. You're mine tonight." Clothes dropped to the floor like discarded morals. The sex was desperate, unpracticed between us but blazing with chemistry. She straddled me, her hair falling free, nails digging into my chest as if she needed proof of my body beneath hers. I clung to her like a man starving. When I came home hours later, guilt settled in my chest. My wife was asleep. I stood in the doorway, staring at her, wondering if she knew. But the affair didn't stop. It deepened. Elena and I found excuses, joint ventures, business trips, urgent strategy meetings. We built a secret world where emails carried double meanings and hotel rooms became confessions. She challenged me in ways no one had for years. She was not just passion but intellect, ambition, fire. She made me remember I was alive. One evening, after a conference in Paris, we sat on her balcony with the Eiffel Tower glittering in the distance. She reached for my hand and held it longer than usual. "Do you love her?" she asked suddenly. My throat tightened. "She's been with me half my life." That wasn't my question. I looked into Elena's eyes, and the truth spilled before I could cage it. No. Not the way I should. Her silence told me everything. We weren't just having sex anymore. We were falling. And that was more dangerous than any betrayal of vows. Our affair stretched for months, then a year. Passion became routine, but not in the dull way my marriage had. Every time I saw her, I still ached. I still wanted. We made love like conspirators, like partners, like two people who had carved out a reckless space between duty and desire. Yet cracks formed. One evening, as I buttoned my shirt in her hotel room, she sat on the bed, eyes shadowed. "Daniel," she said, "what are we doing? We steal hours, nights, but we can't build a life this way." I froze, the question I had feared surfacing at last. Could I leave my wife? Could I trade the stability of my home for this wild, uncertain flame? I had no answer. And she knew it. That night, the sex was rawer than ever, tinged with desperation, as if both of us knew it could end. She clung to me, whispering my name, tears dampening her cheeks even as she kissed me. I held her tighter, but the weight of reality pressed harder. Eventually, the affair unraveled, not with a scandal, not with a fight, but with silence. Calls became fewer. Emails more formal. When we passed each other at events, we smiled politely, like strangers who shared a secret. But every so often, when I close my eyes in boardrooms, I feel her hand in mine again, her lips on mine, her voice whispering in the dark, "Iris mio esta noche." And for a heartbeat, I am hers. Always hers.